This episode of The General's Gentleman is sponsored by Sorcerer King Rivals, a new 4X grand strategy game where heroes of might and magic and Age of Wonders meet civilizations. Build your cities, gather your armies, and grow your magic to stop the evil Sorcerer King.
Welcome to The General's Gentleman.
Ladies and gentlemen, hello and welcome to a game of Company of Heroes 2, the Winter Balance kind. We are now on 1.7.
Blake's favourite map as well. Samoski Winter,
Yeah!
boy!
I love this. I've got a poster at home. It just has Samoski Winter on it. It covers most of my wall.
Signed by the guy that made Samoski Winter.
Yeah, and I've also got a close up on the other wall of the fuel garrison. So.
Oh yeah.
I've got a close up on another wall.
Isn't this your profile photo on
It
Facebook?
actually is. Yeah, that's the one. You've nailed it, machine. On the head, as is Hans. He's nailing it on the head in terms of his capping order.
This is very clever capping order by Hans. Let's go his vision. Because he's actually going to see the Stern Pioneers. He'll go in this house. They'll delay the cap, but he definitely can't keep the Stern Pioneers nearby. Also, Hans doesn't take the bluff. He keeps capping the point uninterrupted. He won't have it connected yet, but he will have that shortly.
Very nicely played by Hans there. That was beautiful.
Anyway, so yeah, Hans is our British player. And the OKW.
It'll be Noganno.
An infantry section of Tommies has been trained.
Nicely done.
We should get in the habit.
You've really gotten the hang of doing the StarCraft zoom in for Coh2. That was nice. I liked it.
We should get in the habit of doing the StarCraft hype intros. It's pretty good. Spawning as the British, representing Complexity Gaming. It is HelpingHans.
And on our right side, our red player.
Wearing the red trunks.
Representing Ruka, it's Noganno. The typical zoom in, and then you have to make sure you don't talk for a couple of seconds just to really,
It's so funny how they
point out the hype.
They have those really weird silences where like one guy introduces one faction and they leave it for like 5-10 seconds.
You gotta leave it, man.
They leave you hanging in
Sink it in.
anticipation,
Yeah.
and then out of nowhere, wearing the red trunks and so forth. So this is for the King of the Hill tournament, hosted by Stormless, live streamed by AE. So if you have seen this live or you've seen it on his YouTube, then too bad. The thing is with our casting is we're always quite selfish in that regard, as we cast what we want to cast. We cast the hype games, but also I think the majority of our viewers don't follow Stormless and AE and such. Same with Zero Hour Dominator. People like, Dominator's already casted this game. It's like, yeah, I don't care.
We enjoy casting hype matches are just a bit too much. So this is actually interesting from Noganno, and we haven't seen a lot of Samoski Winter, but oftentimes, I'm talking about this before the game, having this kind of half-assed commitment that Noganno has to the bottom fuel works out really badly for a lot of factions, but OKW doesn't have that problem because he's kind of gone for this half-assed commitment to the bottom fuel in that you cap the middle VP, cap a couple of points, keep a hold of the strap point that's like your cutoff, you just chill in that area. And he sent a Kubel up north to do the rest of the capping for him. So he's got the strap point, the fuel, another strap point, a VP, and the munitions as well. Whereas HelpingHans has to commit everything to holding this bottom fuel. So it's actually worked out quite nicely for Noganno, and he's got a decent amount of map control here as well.
Yeah, the Volk's trying to check to see if the Tommies are out of position. If Hans does move his Tommies away, then Noganno will take the opportunity to get that fuel house. Perhaps he could have tried going for the cutoff instead, though, getting the munitions away. But he will be able to get the right side, the munitions and the VP, Stern Pioneers, and the Volks. So the thing is with the Brits is they can have good field presence because of their medics, the healing. So notice how he soft retreats here back to the house there, wants to try and keep the squad on the field. Because at least he'll be able to keep the cutoff, if nothing else.
Probably put the weaker squad inside the garrison, frees up the full health squad to look for an engagement as well, so that's nice.
So I think Hans is actually dialing up the aggression, going to go for the cutoff instead. Take that one away and there won't be the munitions there for Noganno on the right side.
Looking a bit squiffy. Line's been cut.
Really solid engagement overall here. Pushing forward that Vickers, really dangerous to lose the house to the Vickers. Especially with Noganno's current build order, he really doesn't have a way to just place the Vickers.
Oh yeah, like this. This is obviously a bad engagement for Noganno, but he doesn't want to give that house away. So he's trying to flank with his Volks. to try and dislodge his Vickers as best as he can, but I don't know if it's going to actually pay off in the
Pretty
end.
sure he loses this garrison machine. Even with that flanking Vol squad, unless it gets there ASAP, it's just not going to drop enough models on the Vickers to really matter.
Well, the problem here, the Vickers can't vault the fence, vault the wall, so he's going to have to walk through Volksfire, especially with negative cover. So that was a nice maneuver by Noganno, keeps the Vickers in this central church. Uh-oh.
We're quite low here, gonna have to back away.
So this is actually a very infantry-heavy play from HelpingHans.
It really is.
I do expect to see the urban mobile assault regiment with the flamers, double engineers with the flamers, very strong. This is what Hans pretty much always goes. I don't think I've seen him go anything else. There's the Polar Commander, which is pretty strong, but the flamers in the land map just offer so much, especially on this map.
There's just so much infighting, and when it comes to these garrisons, it's important to have those close combat squads. There's a lot of mind pressure here as well, so we see from Hans throwing down a couple now. At VP and on the road. Just good mine spots in general, plus you always have the chance of catching a Kubel out, so.
I like that too, because it'd be tempting for him to just lock in his flamer and get flamers right away, but does he actually need flamers now? Not really. So by delaying the flamers, getting some mines down early on in good spots, it'll pay off in the long run. And he still has the options open anyway.
Yeah.
Maybe he wants to go for something, I don't know, if he has such a good lead. The tactical support combos well with Cromwell spam, because the balance cover, the arty cover, can be used to win engagements without any effort or foresight.
We're losing a capture point.
So with a big field advantage, you certainly can get multiple Cromwells out in the field and use that in conjunction with the air cover. The infantry heavy game, of course, CPs are going to start racking up some speed. A lot of engagements across the map here. AACs here.
The AAC is interesting because the AC, it's had its infantry damage lowered, but it's actually had its vehicle damage buffed. It has, well, not damage specifically, but its overall damage output, I should specify. So it has better scatter, which will increase it. It has a better cooldown on smoke. I believe perhaps even turret traverse. It has a couple of things, I can't remember exactly, but it's certainly better in its anti-vehicle, but it won't pay off if Noganno doesn't go for vehicles. So this actually could be a bad idea, but at the same time though, Hans has no idea whether or not it's a battle group or a mech, and if it is a mech, or even just a flak half track, which has been buffed, he could take a lot of map pressure off of him. So it's a precaution that's gonna... Whoa, jeez, what was I saying? It has been nerfed, believe me.
Do you promise, Machine?
Do
you swear?
I do.
Do you swear on the 0-hour 1.6 balance patch that you're telling the truth? So.
Well, this could even be a wipe.
Certainly
oh
could
my
be.
God.
Sections on retreat here, Machine. Uncover getting a few nice shots off. The AC keep chasing though. Runs the risk of going into a mine. Doesn't find the wipe. Doesn't even find another model wipe there.
Oh, unfortunate. I thought at least the Tommies would have got something done. They can do nice long-range damage.
Yeah, and as it turns out, it is just a late medics upgrade here for Noganno. Adding on some additional squads beforehand. It's going to start healing up. Actually, a really nice timing on those medics. Gets them up as squads are retreating, which it's always the best. Time to invest that manpower.
So no surprise, it is the Flamer. HelpingHans going for his mobile assault. Actually, a lot of manpower as well. So he can go for either a couple of caches, given he has good map control, or he can go for a mortar pit, given again he has a lot of manpower to burn through, and he doesn't really need anything at the moment. He's looking pretty strong.
It's so annoying having this squad inside of the garrison as well. I see why the Volks Grenadiers went for the lower garrison to displace the mine blank. Displace the infantry section, rather than going for the engineers with the flamer, because to run up to the engineers and throw the incendiary grenade, the engineers get a full flamer burst off on you. That's some pretty hardcore damage, as well as the damage from the rest of the models there.
Oh, infantry commandos won't quite get a wipe though. He was trying to get a cheeky wipe there as he was actually salvaging the Kubel, so you take a lot of extra damage. No wipe there, and that's unfortunate because it's kind of a dead weight now. It's an expensive squad, and it could have been a mortar pit. But if it was a wipe, even the Volks were vulnerable to being a wipe.
It could have been a double wipe there,
Yeah.
potentially. And that's really what we see the infiltration commanders used for. It's just, they popped out to either get a wipe on a support weapon or a low squad, as we saw there.
Yeah, so it's a pretty silly design of a unit.
Yeah,
But
it is. Yeah.
either way,
Their expense just draws them towards that. What
yeah.
else can you do with them? So
Well, I mean, you still can get wipes if you use them defensively because the gammon bombs and the ambush that they have is pretty strong. The cloak. So they're not completely useless. They're not a good use of that much munitions in a traditional long-term sense. It's the same with anything like partisans. Same with the other the infiltration units. I guess not for Falchions and Jaegers, but especially for partisans and infiltration command. What else is there? Stormtroopers.
You probably haven't seen what I've been doing with my Falchions recently, mate.
What?
As soon as that battle grenade buff came out, I'm wiping support weapons for days. Just every day. Every day
Oh
you
man,
pop out and wipe
I remember
support
seeing
weapon.
those patch notes, and it was like bundle grenade damage increased, AOE damage increased, AOE range increase, and I was like, God damn it, these Falchion pops are gonna be so OP, popping out of buildings, wiping squads with those nades. Hopefully we can nerf those soon. We nerfed guard grenades, but we couldn't nerf gammons, nor could we nerf the bundle grenades. Yeah, because the scope.
Look at this. This is... Eventually the nade's going to go off. Look how much damage these bolts going to take.
He's gonna try and nade this one though.
They're just evacs. Just...
Yeah, and it was the infiltration nades, so they only had 3 nades anyway, rather than the full 5.
Never win that engagement.
So how does Noganno clear these garrisons? Did he go for an ISG? It was too late for a
don't
flak
know.
half track.
He's just in a really bad position here, Machine. The ISG's up now, but that's probably his best choice, but it's still not an ideal investment of manpower. It's just he just needs it to displace units from these garrisons. It's just, I mean, the nades are going to come off, yeah, whatever. It's just there are evacs coming out here, and then the Moss Grenadiers lose the engagement anyway against the engineers because they've taken damage, and they're up close and personal with, you know, good mid to close range troops. We're getting another shot off here.
He's out of definitely vision range, sight range, attack range, almost. Ketan actually could go down here if he's not careful. The Volk's not sure what he's trying to do.
Yeah, commandos are retreating. That's going to drop.
It's actually a really nice way of using commandos, because they won't trade very well head on if you're running up to things. You kind of keep them in reserve and use them to try and just do damage on retreat and just try and get some models down. And we've seen that twice there. He used the commandos at the end to try and, to definitely force him off to retreat. And then as they retreat, get a few volleys off with their SMGs.
Supply half-track is ready for orders.
Half-track's up now. Noganno should be going for a Panzer headquarters here. Get some Obersoldaten out. Try and win some of these infantry trades. Still some way off his command panther here. That's probably going to be the tank investment. Just wanting the Panzer headquarters, obviously, for a few more CPs and those lead infantry as well.
Has to be careful with these commandos. The ISG is firing at them. They're already pretty low behind the clumping there. Yeah, running backwards is a good idea. You have the smoke grenades, but they're actually vet locked. And then gets that fuel point. So finally the ISG also has this truck here for the battle group. I mean, unless he wants to go for a Stuka. That wouldn't be a bad idea because he has the call-in Panther. But his positioning seems to indicate Panzer headquarters.
Certainly looks that way, Machine. ISG manages to force off a couple of squads as well as displacing. But if he goes out too far and hits a mine. As well as displacing units from the central garrisons, so the Panzer headquarters will be able to set up in relative safety. This is a smart way to set up Panzer headquarters. If you look at Noganno's squad placement, this is an important thing to consider. Never, ever, ever, ever set up a supply truck if you don't have good vision on the area and you know that there's not going to be a squad running into it. Just don't do it.
Oh, well, there could be a Cromwell running into
okay,
it.
this is unfortunate.
Oh, no.
Well,
there is a shoe mine.
Okay,
but...
I'm going to eat my words. The Cromwell sees it should start firing. Oh, okay, it's
oh, he cancelled it. Wow.
Yeah, he has to cancel it.
That's a shame there for Noganno. He would have been okay if it was just a squad of infantry, but the vehicle...
But see, imagine he didn't have that squad of Strombidiers in the area. Cromwell walks up and like 2 shots your Panzer headquarters or something like that. So it's just like you got to have vision in the general area, so you're prepared to not only set it up in relative safety, but also make sure in case something does run at it, you have the foresight to cancel it, I suppose.
The problem with that, though, is actually the reason why the Cromwell spotted the Panzer headquarters was trying to chase the Stern Pioneers down on retreat. So it kind of backfired having the scouting, but it is worth doing, certainly. What he perhaps could have done was to try and run the Stern Pioneers down and then like do this weird soft retreat, which could have just ended up in the Stern Pioneers dying, but it probably wouldn't have been as disastrous as losing his Panzer headquarters. The problem there's no Raketens either. He lost his only Raketen, had to rebuild that one. It also prevented him from going to the Stuka. He would have had to go double Raketen if he wanted the Stuka, and that would have been, I don't know, like 1,000 manpower worth of investment just to make that Stuka work. When you combine it with the mech and such.
That's going to be a gammon bomb if I've ever seen one. Well, the commandos go for it. They'll win this engagement anyway, probably, but commandos might just gun them down. They actually do have to retreat with the flanking Volks Grenadier squad coming in.
I was trying to set up there for the Cromwell, but there was the Volks behind and Raketen moving up anyway.
So actually saw another squad here. If you just check on the other squad of commandos, Machine, where did they pop from?
Oh,
right,
okay.
There we go. Okay.
One kill, so I don't think that was a wipe. I don't see anything.
No. I mean, it's clearly to win this engagement, but is it really that important? It's so close to
Schumann as well.
Nano's base. Could be a wipe here, Machine.
He
Nice
backs
retreat.
out. Nothing there to follow that one up. So what you actually can do with commandos is you can give them Brens, and the Brens are much stronger on commandos than other squads.
They have two.
Well, everything has two. You can get two Brens. I mean, apart from...
No, I mean, they actually have two.
What do you mean?
Pretty sure they have Brens?
There's no icon.
Oh, right. No, there's not.
The icon will show up.
Yeah, no, right.
Yeah, so when you pick up a Bren from the weapon rack, it actually gives you one of three different types of Brens, depending on the type of squad. I think I mentioned this before in one of our casts earlier, but I'll say it again anyway. There's the Tommy Bren, which is the worst because of the cover bonus, which is kind of ironic. Because originally it was like a bonus, but now it's actually like a penalty if you're not in cover. The Engineer one, and then the Commando one, which is actually a lot better, and it fires on the move. So, with the Infiltration Commandos that are only a 4-man squad, it depends on what map it is, it depends on how you're using them. But you actually, a lot of times you're better off giving them Brens. Because if you're trying to run up to things, it depends what you're versing. If you're versing like Panzergrens in particular, or Obers, or whatever they are, they can just struggle closing the gap.
What are the base weapons for commandos? Those 4-man
The
squads?
Stens.
Stens?
Yeah. Same with the Royal Engineers. But the commanders have silent Stens, which are stronger, even though they doesn't make any sense. All the World War II buffs are like, what a casual. How do you not know every single fact about every single weapon of World War II?
Gotta up my game, Machine.
Yeah.
One day I will.
I'm unsubscribing, watching Imperial Day instead. He knows what every single weapon in the game is. I know pretty much all of them. I mean, and that's just through playing other World War II games, mostly. Call of Duty 1, everything from there.
No, I'll get baited. I was gonna say. That was actually a great bait by Hans. It's a pity he didn't get a wipe there. He probably deserved one because that was well played. Had the door mine and left the Cromwell within Faust range of the door, but then the mine goes off, so that was quite well played.
The AEC,
sorry,
actually.
the AEC, yeah. Nicely played.
The Sten's actually a funny weapon, if you look at it. It actually has the magazine on the side. So, like, you hold it like that. Look at that. Same with the FG-42 has a side clip.
So those are like Type 100s had like side clips as well, didn't they?
Is that the one from Battlefield 1?
Yeah.
Yeah, the World War 1 SMG.
Yeah.
The one that probably saw 20 of them ever in use. I don't know much about World War 1 weaponry, I know just a little bit. Because I haven't played many video games based in World War 1. I haven't played Battlefield 1 actually. But that Raketen is stolen. That's certainly one thing commanders are good for. That they were cloaked in cover. Got a cheeky gammon off. And now we have a not so cheeky land mattress barrage.
It's HelpingHans putting on a show for us, Machine. He's playing like HelpingHans plays. Just doesn't lose squads. Puts constant pressure on until his opponent just collapses under the weight of that much population cap on purely infantry.
Hashtag I believe in Hans.
Yeah.
It is actually a hashtag for some reason.
It's a hashtag,
Whenever
yeah.
there's like a tournament, everyone says that. Actually, the mine blow up, I don't know if that killed the AEC or if the Faust was enough. But certainly the mine helped with that kill. And using the crushes there with the Cromwell, gets 3 Stimpires down, maybe a 4th if he gets a lucky shot off.
Might get one more. Not quite.
So this may look like the game is just over and there's no chance, but Noganno will have his Command Panther any moment now, and Command Panthers are very strong, especially versus the Cromwells, especially if he's overextending here.
Yeah, and overextending Cromwell. This is the call-in time machine.
Well, he didn't get a Faust off, so the Cromwell won't go down. Also, there's pretty good squad preservation. Noganno's lost 2 Raketans, but he hasn't lost any infantry.
Also, Noganno didn't quite have 35 munitions at the time machine. So.
Oh, right. Well, it's 25,
Yeah.
I think, isn't it? In the mod. Yeah, 25.
Yeah.
I had to fight for that.
Yeah,
man.
I know you did. Yeah.
That Panzerfaust, like I was the advocate of that. The Panzerfaust change.
It was necessary. I didn't realize that actually ended up going through. I know you were fighting hard for it,
Yeah.
but I was unaware that it went through. This Command Panther is wanting the blood machine,
Because-
hunting down the Cromwell.
Initially, I was like, oh, you should fix the bug. You know the bug.
Yeah.
How Faust costs 35 munitions, and Carl was like, oh no, it's not a bug. It's a deliberate design decision. We're like, what? And it's like, well, it's because like OKW have like early Raketans, so they have like really good AT. It's like, yeah, but the Raketans kind of awful. And then I listed all the other anti-tank deficits that OKW have. Overall, Wehrmacht are much better at anti-tank. They have double Shrek Panzergrens. They have the Stub. They have cheaper tanks, Panzer IV Panther. And those tanks aren't as strong as the OKW equivalents, but it does lend themselves.
Pack gun relative to Raketans.
Yeah,
so,
that's the main thing, right? Pack is so much stronger, and telemines is a huge thing as well. Telemines are very good compared to shoe mines. So there's a lot of reasons why. There's just no justification whatsoever for one faction having 35 munition Fausts, while every other faction has 25 munition Faust equivalents. So we got there in the end. So glad they conceded. I suppose. Well, it wasn't really conceding. I think it was more Kyle double checking that there wasn't a better reason, and then he was like, okay, well, there's no reason in that case. Yeah, let's go for it.
It's a cool change. OKW players everywhere are thanking you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Every time they get 25 munitions in the game, they just put their hands together and praise the machine for getting them 10 less munition pals. So,
That being said, how many players do you think are gonna not Faust things because they have like 30 munitions and it's like, my man, out of munitions, and then later they
Faust,
realize
yeah.
it's like, oh crap, I actually could have afforded that one. Okay, this could be a wipe if Gavin Bomb is available. Oh, Hans, are you a god among men? You are a god among men. I don't care if he loses that squad. That was worth out of 10.
Yeah. That's hardcore worth. That was so worth you don't even have to type it in chat worth. That's how
It's
worth
self-evident,
it was. So,
yeah. Okay, Cromwell's here. Actually, this Panther's going pretty deep.
Yeah.
There is ice there, so has to be a little bit careful. There's a Rakan, but he can't fire through that. I don't think. I could be wrong.
No, I don't think so. I'm pretty sure it'll collide. Should collide. Yeah, it's gonna collide.
Because sometimes you can fire through houses, destroyed houses. That is, of course.
Probably why he's just giving it a shot. There's probably a line on the Raketin that gets a shot through the house, so...
Yeah, like, you know, on Kolodny, the left side house looking over the VP,
Yeah.
I believe you can fire through that when it's destroyed. But actually, very importantly here, Noganno only has 3 Volks left. That is going to be not enough infantry to combat the Brand vetted up infantry sections. They have that squad size upgrade coming out eventually. There's no sign of Obers because the Panzer headquarters was destroyed.
Yeah, commandos are cool as well. Stealth Piats, so yeah, that can be fun. Might see that come into effect, especially with the incredibly aggressive Command Panther play we see coming out of Noganno. He really is going ham. Kinda has to. Look towards our victory points. 469 for HelpingHans compared to the 179 of Noganno.
Well, the thing is with the Piats is, where else do they go? He already has the Flamer,
Yeah,
so
true.
the engineer squads aren't available for the Piats. You generally put them on engineers, but there's no engineers left. One engineer squad might not be enough, but he also has the crew repairs. So, yeah, I like that choice. Loses it though to the infiltration grenades.
I didn't even see that squad. I was very confused because I thought we on screen we covered infiltration nade range, and I was thinking there's a cloaked bolt squad hanging out somewhere, but it is just below on the screen. We'll actually lose it. You're right, Machine. It's unfortunate. It's always dangerous just leaving squads AFK in buildings when infiltration nades are running around.
Yeah. So. Those grenades are so silly.
Tell me about it.
Alright, so this is a mech truck. The problem is though, is Noganno didn't finish his Panzer headquarters. So it means he can't build his King Tiger, because if you build it at Panzer headquarters and it dies, it still counts as having unlocked the King Tiger. But if it gets destroyed mid-construction, then you have to rebuild that if you want to go that path. Oh no, Pinto. Ah, Gammon Bomb. Oh, it gets a bit of damage off and
nice.
A temporary immobility.
I swear, if this Panther dies, I swear if this Panther dies, Machine.
Nah, too fast.
Right, okay.
Actually, well, there was a rocket in there, but he's bouncing off anyway.
Yeah,
he maybe could have got it, but it would have been so risky, and there's just no need to go that risky. But that was a nice play, yeah.
It was, yeah.
The immobility came through. I didn't realize that was actually a thing. I admit, I don't think I've ever had a Gammon Bomb actually connect with a vehicle before.
Something of a rarity. That was a bit of fun anyway, even if the Cromwell bounced and the Rocket bounced, the Rocket bounced again. Still a bit of fun. And the Command Panther should repair up with some speed, given the Strum Pioneers, as well as the mech upgrade that we saw go down on that truck for Noganno.
Building a MG34. I don't know how that'll fare versus all these Tommies. Probably just get decrewed head on.
More than likely.
There's 2 Raketans. That's the real problem as well here, is Noganno's given away 2 Raketans.
Hunt has so much fuel as well. He's going to be going for a Comet here. He has so much time to invest into whatever he wants. He just had such a huge fuel advantage. So many units, he just didn't need to invest in anything else. Like, dropping the Raketan is not a big deal.
He was actually building a Firefly and he cancelled it and he was like, yeah, nah. Oh, yeah, let's get a Comet.
Yeah.
Oh, I might change his mind again. Going deep with the Panther. There's actually the Mark vehicle. This is risky, but he's going to be playing a ring around the Rosie. Can't chase on the ice.
Cretin turns and gets another shot off here. She doesn't.
You know how everyone has those don't chase singed shirts? Yeah. I want like don't chase on the ice.
Don't chase on the ice. I know that from the worst place. I'm pretty sure the worst place I've ever lost a tank is I lost an IS-2 here. I lost an IS-2 here. I mean, are you kidding me? Like, that's where that's actually where I lost an IS-2. That was not fun.
Okay, Comet on the field with a Cromwell for support. I'm gonna try really hard to not call the Cromwell a Comet and vice versa. It's like the equivalent for Chinooks and Comanches in 0 Hour. I always mistake those two. It's actually firing at the land mattress. They will die pretty fast.
Yeah. Right, you can just throw an AT grenade to stop this Panther moving around so quickly.
Yeah. Okay,
Panther are going to arrive here as well as that Comet. That Panther can probably go down here.
It's actually low though. Look at the health. The marked target coming through. A big damage bonus. He missed the shot though. The Cromwell can't go in. There is, however, 2 Piats on these commandos. And the Piats do track moving targets now. They're like bazookas, but they're less powerful.
Kind of threw away the opportunity there. Hans wasn't microing the Piats. He could have... The Panther actually went stationary and the Piats were within range. Of course, it's not going to matter with the tracking now, but it would have... He still had a... I don't think he was, though. Oh, okay. They were definitely within range of the Panther, and they didn't actually get anything. I think they were moving, and then they moved afterwards. So,
right.
Yeah,
I think he fired 1 Piat, but yeah, he didn't fire a couple. Either way, gonna be repairing up these tanks very fast with this ability. It's very, very strong. And actually putting, I think that's a Cromwell by the looks of it.
Yeah.
VP is getting low. Noganno actually has recovered pretty well though. The VPs are the real problem here. Because with that Mark vehicle, the Mark target, coordinated fire, whatever you want to call it, it can win those tank battles so quickly. And he actually can get this other Raketin too. So with double Raketins, the Command Panther, that's all he really needs. He still has, I mean, there's 2 Volks, but it's two versus 3 infantry sections. It's doable. 2 vetted Volks, that is. There's a 3rd unvetted squad.
See, my equivalent to your Chinook Comanche Comet Cromwell problem is from this distance on the other side of the screen, I can tell which tank's coming up by the different icons. Like, I can tell the difference between a Cromwell and the Comet, which are 2 of the hardest ones from this distance. So it's something I pride myself on.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm bad at that.
You keep an eye on the screen, and yeah, I've always been good at keeping an eye on the icons and seeing what's coming up. So. Okay,
there's a Panther going to be crushing these infantry squads. Oh no, he can't because there's actually a fight on.
He just blocked them off, I think, so the Volks could actually retreat. He let the Brens fire, they could have wiped the squad, so.
There's a Vet 2 Stone Pioneer squad. Oh no, it's Vet 3 that gives you repair bonus. Every other squad it's Vet 2, but Sturm's a Vet 3. I was going to say, the Panther's going to be taking a lot of damage given how much anti-tank's on the field. So having repairs nearby is important. Having Stone Pioneers that far off, perhaps a bit of a mistake there, because then he can't repair this Panther. And this is only tank, so it needs to be at full health.
Continual poking is nice, because Hans, up to this point, he just added on a squad of engineers, which is what I was hoping he'd do. Really had a lack of repairs on the field, so this consistent poking with the Command Panther gave
oh my god!
Pressure out!
Tank Destroyer, inverted commas. Jeez, he wipes that one again. Trying to destroy it now. It can be recrewed by the Tommies. The Raketin is so small, it actually is hard to destroy the weapon on the ground. Let's see if he does it again.
Wipe it again! Do it!
Well, there's actually Volks on retreat, so he may be able to here on the retreat path. The ISG firing as well. Weapon accuracy, yeah. Oh no, he didn't get it. Yeah, he actually threw grenades at the Vickers. I think Vickers was refacing, it's probably why. So it means that he wasn't firing at the Raketin.
So I'd like to see Hans just consolidate his position here, and that's what he's doing. He's just pulling every single one of his units off the map. They're all low, they need reinforcing, he's low on manpower, his tanks need repairing. There's no reason for him to take an engagement at this stage in the game. He's on 460 VPs, Noganno's on 40, there's really nothing that Hans is threatened by at this stage in the game. So taking his time, reinforcing his squads, getting them full health, and then pushing back out in the field with full health tanks, full health infantry squads, that's going to be the way to go. We do see Noganno going for a Stuka.
I do like the cutoff though, because munitions is very important for Hans. His crew repairs for his tanks will be helping a lot. Noganno is going for a Stuka, and it's not ideal, but he doesn't have enough time in VPs to go for anything else. Because he lost his Panzer headquarters, doesn't have the fuel to go for his Panzer headquarters. So, Stuka, it'll be okay. Versus the Vickers. The infantry squads, I expect Hans will dodge them adequately. And I think this game is actually, it's kind of even now, but it's just the VPs is the problem. Even despite the pop cap difference, this Command Panther is just so efficient. It's 18 pop cap, and that's the equivalent of 2 tanks, maybe even two Comets, well, if not definitely a Comet and a Cromwell.
Yeah.
In terms of anti-tank, at least, not anti-infantry.
Okay.
Yeah. Raketin's still there. Wow, he hasn't recruited that one.
That was the second one that was captured by Hans and then decrewed.
Yeah, I'm surprised he hasn't recruited that.
Seems like a good way to fill out the rest of his pop cap here. And Hans's current reliance on those medium tanks and the addition of that Stuka now for Noganno. Hans has plenty of repairs here as well. Plenty of a bit of munitions, so he's going to have access to the repairs as well. Global repairs.
Does he save the Stuka for the land mattress?
Maybe.
He might have to blow it over VP control.
I mean, certainly there is still the potency of that initial barrage, but against pro players, it's kind of a little bit less because 9 times out of 10 they will hear it.
Oh, the Stuka, yeah, you always hear the Stuka. Yeah. It's so loud.
Yeah. You get those dodges on.
Where is it? Yeah, it's actually the land mattress. It'll get decrewed, but that's about it.
Got a choice as any.
It does buy time, because recrewing the land mattress means it's one squad not on the field. so he can't then attack with that squad. It'll buy him about 40 seconds of infantry fire. Ooh, Stone Pioneers barely surviving that one. Okay, 3v1 here, but there's actually a Raketin for support. The marked target has been blown, but the Cromwell does back away.
Man, Panthers are gonna go nuts.
Yeah, does he go for it here?
Already takes it down.
Oh my
All
god,
three
the
of these
Raketin's
takes.
hit!
I think he takes that.
There
Oh.
goes the Comet! Wow.
That was impressive. Good hustle from Noganno, stalling this one out on 39 VPs here.
Yeah, that was a great pickup. The Comet's expensive in manpower. HelpingHans, oh man, it actually kills the land mattress too. HelpingHans building a 6-pounder. Panther so BS. Yes, it is. I mean, the worst is the marked target. I mean, that's the main thing. But the fact that it's a call-in, it's so much armor. Yeah, it's nuts, and the infantry damage it has is nuts. It is insanely strong. Or the Wehrmacht Panther is so envious because the Wehrmacht Panther sucks pretty bad, and the tier requirements is so obnoxious too.
Command Panther is such a good deal.
It's like not only is the Wehrmacht Panther worse, it's also has the highest tech cost of everything. Where this Panther is by far the best, has an aura, has Vet 5, oh, and it's a call-in as well.
And is an emergency, what is it? Combat Blitz.
Oh my
Isn't
God.
that a little bit better than Blitzkrieg?
Yeah,
as
because
well?
it gives you
Because
accuracy. It's like accuracy,
yeah.
or like
Yeah.
not received. It's offensive accuracy.
Right, okay.
So you're popping Blitzkrieg. Things are missing. I think it's probably both even, but it definitely gives
Yeah,
you
does both,
accuracy.
yeah.
Yeah, and so you hit things always on when you're chasing things down. Yeah, it's oh man, it's obnoxious. It is.
Whoa. Nasty infiltration nades. Noganno's kind of back in this one. Still 39 VPs is not a situation you want to be in, but he is still kind of back in this one.
That being said, though, Hans perhaps should have gone for... Oh, wow, loses that there to the MGs on the Cromwell. He perhaps should have gone for a Firefly. A double Comet and a Cromwell. It did a bit hard to path around. I think his intention was to swarm the Panther. But with the Firefly, the tulips are so strong.
Yeah,
He had
tulips.
plenty of munitions for the Firefly with tulips. That was probably a better choice, I suppose. But the Cromwells would have given him better infantry firepower, anti-infantry firepower, so better VP control. And he was close to closing the game out. So I think either the double Cromwell was fine, or the Firefly just didn't have good engagement. It was nice Raketin positioning, got a few shots off as well.
It certainly isn't either machine. He certainly can still go for that strategy. 395 fuel floated up here for Hans. Fair bit of manpower now. Has a population cap for it, so we could see a firefight build up. In addition to, and working in conjunction with that 6-pounder could be pretty.
Oh wow, that Raketin out of position. It will go down. Vet 3-2, so that's a nasty loss, but the marked target does come through. The Raketin actually may fire here. No, gets decrewed just in time. That Cromwell was one shot away from dying to that Raketin.
Panther is absolutely safe in the middle. We saw the Stuka during that engagement wipe the 6-pounder, that one going down. So just the Raketin in the middle firing against the Panther.
Where was the 6-pounder?
6-pounder right down the bottom. Scroll down a little bit. I heard the
Oh, there, yeah.
I
there
heard the
is.
Stuka
Nice.
fire, so.
So the MG can also be a recruit as well. I think a lot of players stress too much over like what should I build, what's my build order, but Company of Heroes in general, it's less about what you build and more how you use it and what you do with it. So it's one of those things that like I don't like to over criticize build choices when either of them can work either way, because we could have seen a Firefly be built and then the Firefly go down and like, well, that was a bad idea, should have gone double Comet, right? So yeah, you have flexibility to some extent, at least late game.
I don't know about HelpingHans' choices here. He's doing a bit of an Archon Hawk. He's got...
Oh, what's that? Like?
Well, he's got the 6-pounder still on the field. It wasn't destroyed if we look down there. So we can recap that and take it back to base. But he's already rebuilt another 6-pounder.
Oh, the Archon Hawk Deluxe.
The Archon Hawk Deluxe,
All right.
exactly. He's already rebuilt another 6-pounder when the weapon is there on the ground, ready for him to pick up. And in addition to that, he could have just built a Firefly because he's got so much fuel floated, but you know, whatever. The Archon Hawk special in full effect
Limited
here
time
for Hans.
only. Yeah. Special edition.
Yeah. I love doing that.
Well, it's the mental energy required to recap an MG, take on whatever it is, move it back to base, repair it.
Exactly.
It's just easier to just build a new one.
HelpingHans gets me, man. He gets what I'm about. He feels me, man. What a dude. What a dude.
The Volks. This is desperate, but yeah, he's running out of VPs, so... Also lost his other vetted squad, so he just has these fresh squads. Not too desirable. This is a vet 3 Cromwell. It's going to wipe squads pretty easily. I think this is going to be all she wrote.
Looks that way, machine. Still might not be. Boss Grenadiers for the unteenth time forcing off a Vickers with the bundle. Grenades. What? Oh no! Oh no! What was it? That could have been anything.
I have no idea.
We were not ready for that. Why did you drive it on the ice, Noganno? What happened?
Was it a Cromwell? But the Cromwells...
He was just driving back from base and he sunk. I mean, it can take so little to actually sink it, but I don't know what it was. Okay.
I have no idea.
Right.
And I would like to watch this replay again, but we're 40 minutes in, so it would take me a long time to fast forward. Maybe I will.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
Insert clip here of Panther sadly dying
or like
on the
do
ice
it
or
in
something.
the side of the screen.
Yeah.
I don't know. We'll see. I think it must have just been a Cromwell, like a crazy long range shot from the Cromwell.
Yeah.
Also, because look at the vet 2. The Cromwell shouldn't. Your vehicle's destroyed 1.
Yeah.
The Cromwell wouldn't be vet 2 with only 6 kills.
Yeah.
It would have been this Cromwell, this guy here. I'm basically Sherlock Holmes. The power of deduction. Great show. I just finished that the other day.
It is fantastic. Well, up to date the new ones with the new
Season 4,
episode.
yeah.
Or, yeah, cool, nice, good. I watched it before the new stuff was out. So,
I binged it all in like
yeah.
a week, 2 weeks.
Noganno, despite having lost the Command Panther, still desperately trying to stay in this one. He can actually rebuild that Command Panther pretty shortly. He has to save up a bit more manpower. Still on 39 VPs as well. He hasn't actually dropped a single VP in the last 10 minutes or so.
It's sad, but I don't think it would have mattered, honestly. HelpingHans, he had better infantry, firepower, they were vetted. He had these vetted Cromwells, which would have just eventually would have wiped some Volks as they tried to cap the VPs. The triple cap anyway. The Commandos, yeah, it was going to happen sooner or later. Wipe the MG, gets the V, wipes the MG, gets the V, MG caps the VP. And yeah. By the way, how am I doing in the Comet Cromwell?
Pretty good. I haven't actually heard a mistake.
Okay.
So.
But a lot of times I do that and you don't pick up on it.
Yeah. Or sometimes I choose not to mention it as well.
To not hurt my feelings.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's okay.
I don't want you to be sad that you've mistaken them. So.
Hey,
normally I keep track of the Comanche Chinook and I have a little inward internal chuckle. But
right.
I rarely do that when it comes to Cromwells and Cromwells. I didn't know it was a big problem for you.
I like the swag points here from Noganno. He's like, I'm gonna lose, but I might as well just call it a Command Panther. Because there's nothing worse than losing with a bunch of resources loaded up. Netted mine there. Yeah, maybe it was a mine, but I think it was the Cromwell.
Cromwell had a vehicle. Hang on. What other vehicles did Noganno have in this game?
That was it.
He didn't have any other vehicles.
It was a Stuka. All he had was a Stuka. So
Kubel, but
yeah.
I forget what the Kubel went down to.
It was the AEC.
Yeah.
Very early on. Yeah, it would have been this Cromwell. Unless like the AT guns count as a vehicle. It seems like the way the files are. Possibly. The AT gun is a vehicle, but I don't think that would count. Anyway, regardless, we probably have shown you the clip. Or maybe I haven't. If I haven't, I'm sorry. Whatever. Thanks for watching. That was a nice game and a very impressive comeback from Noganno. Not only did his early games suck, but also his Panzer headquarters died, and yet still, he gave us, we gave Hans a good run for his money.
Sure.
And I said it before, but I think the problem was the time. This composition was okay because of the Command Panther just being so insanely good. But he had to just be a little bit desperate with the VPs. He held on to 40 VPs for probably about 10 minutes or so. Yeah. And I think that's the problem with Samoski, is it's just so hard to take the map back once you lose it. Some factions struggle more than others, OKW, Brits, and US in particular, because they lack flamethrowers. So, like, if your opponent gets the middle, they get the map, they have MGs and houses, what do you do? It's so hard to take the map back. Even with infiltration grenades, even with the incendiaries, you definitely do struggle. And even Soviets and Wehrmacht, yeah, they have flamers, but still, it is hard to take the map back when, you know, this house covers the cutoff, and then that's 2/3 of the map that you can't get any resources. I don't like this map, and I think this game was a showcase why, because Noganno got outplayed in the first 5 minutes, and then from that, he just couldn't get any map control. And the only reason why he had a chance is because of call-ins, because of the Command Panther. So, yeah, nice game. Unfortunate, though, I don't think this map is very good. I think that was self-evident.
Sure. Thank you for joining us, though. Always a pleasure to have your company. I hope you enjoyed the cast.
Yeah, see you next time. Oh, dishonor!
Hawker special!
That was funny. I was like, what's this gonna be? This is gonna be good. This is gonna be good. Yeah. Because also it's
There's a few Arkanhawk specials on the menu, man. Like, what was that?
Because it's like it's after you lose an AT gun, so like you're already tilted, so you're like, fuck it, I just got build a new one.
One of those. It's like you could have just built a Firefly as well.
Yeah.
Like you had like 400 fuel floated. It's like, oh, another £6, please.